Hello.
Hello.
I see we got our pet cat.
Pumpkin decided to make his appearance right at the beginning. Whoa.
Pumpkin's he's always
Hi.
there. He's always ready
I know.
to go.
If Pumpkin's in the room, he's like all up in my business. He's the most aggressively loving cat ever that I've ever had.
Aggressively
So
loving cat?
yeah, like he'll just be so insistent. He'll like throw himself at you over and over. For some reason, back when this is like pre-COVID, we had a nanny for a couple months, just like a part-time nanny.
Yeah.
And when we were doing interviews, every time someone would come over, and of course I'm like, we have cats, they're pretty cool, but Pumpkin would just go crazy on them, and he'd like make me look bad. Like we have this one really insane cat that won't get off your lap, won't stop putting his butt in your face. Anyway, hi Ruben, happy Friday. It's good to
Happy.
see you.
Yeah. How was yesterday? How was
It was
Thursday?
good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was good. It was weird. I mean, I think Thanksgiving's just weird this year, but yeah, it was nice. We cooked and ate, and my family and I were together, our little pod. I think one of the difficult things about this year is that whoever is in your pod is just like, it's like those are the people you're with, which is cool, but it's also it's just weird. So yeah, how was yours? How was
Can
your
I see someone
Thanksgiving?
else? It was great. It was quiet. It was awesome.
What did you
The way I
guys
like
do?
it. We ate, we hung out, and we chilled. Yeah. It was a very chill day last night.
Chilly chill day. Did you cook
Yes.
anything?
I made a pollo asado, Cali style. So that was I didn't want any turkey. I just had
Hmm.
enough of turkey because I'm on this white meat diet kind of deal.
Oh, so you probably
So
eat turkey a lot.
yes, so I'm like I can't have any more turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look who's here!
Hi, Serge. Good
Hey,
to
sir.
see you.
Yeah, from
Happy
Chicago.
Black Friday from Sacramento.
Yeah.
I loved that Serge put up a picture of I think it was he and his family. I assume it was since we're all potting. And I think you were wearing pajama bottoms with donuts on them. I just wanted to say that I noticed that. Those were cool.
Yeah, Serge. See, Serge is
It
everywhere.
looked like one of those like everyone's wearing kind of like fancy clothes on top, but then there's these donut pants on the bottom. Pretty much how everyone dresses right now, since we don't have to show our upper bodies
That's
on
right.
Zoom.
It is the digital nomad outfits, which I think
Digital
everything has
nomad
changed,
outfit.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Or maybe he used to wear those at Sierra College. Who knows?
Yeah. We'll play a game. What am I wearing underneath these crow feathers?
I know.
They're all
What
dove
am I wearing on
feathers.
my bottom half?
Yes.
So you
True or
cooked,
false?
you made
Yes.
a little meal, you spiced it up a little bit.
Yeah. And then that's it. Passed out for a little while. Did some
Yeah,
artwork. Chilled out. It was a chilly,
nice.
I said, chilling kind of day. Which
Yeah.
it's really cool because there was no pressure on anything, which I loved it. So
No pressure, like what kind of pressure? Like social pressure?
go wear anything, whatever the case may be. People calling you up. Come on down.
Yeah.
You know.
Come on down.
Yeah.
The
So
price is
that's
right.
right.
Yeah.
Hey Zach.
Ah, hey
Happy
Zach.
Thanksgiving. Ooh, nice outfit.
Yeah,
I love
what's that?
it.
Was that Joe Tiger? What was his name? Joe Exotica.
No,
I think that's.
that's actually his real hair.
Shut up. Is
Yeah,
it? I
he has
saw,
that.
or maybe it was Dog the Bounty Hunter. I get Dog the Bounty Hunter confused with a lot of these people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
how's everybody doing out there? If you're tuning in with us, how would you describe your Thanksgiving? How are you feeling today? I do think that, along the lines of like COVID, okay, pumpkin, stop it. You have to go. COVID making things different. Yeah, the social pressure's off. Like, and that's really the case, I guess, all the time, right? Where you're
yeah.
not putting yourself in unfamiliar situations, which can be uncomfortable, especially when you never do them. That'll be something that we have to readjust to for sure when
When
we are allowed to see each other more
yeah,
again.
the time is over. It's time.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Joe Exotic, you're
Joe
right.
Exotic. Okay, so I
Yeah.
was right the first time.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it was nice. It's like I said, it's nice. I know that everybody's having exhaustion. I know that there is, we're all exhausted from this, and we got to keep moving forward with it. But yeah, I just like I said, that's one kind of bonus is that there's no pressure to do anything.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
because I was always going out. I was always seeing people, and it's what the funny part is like I kind of like settled into this zone now. So it's a
Mm,
different zone.
yeah,
My phone doesn't ring as much, or
yeah.
so I can actually, and so I miss everybody. I really do. But it's going to be one of those strange things where you put a cat out when it's raining, and after the rain, their paws are slowly but surely going out there and testing it out. Yeah.
I've never heard of this practice. You put a cat out when it's raining.
And it's like they've been stuck in the house all day, and then the rain stops, but then they're still like not really sure about
Acting
it.
normal.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm doing it for
Speaking of
pumpkin.
cats out in the rain, today I was looking at Black Friday deals just because I'm a glutton for punishment and it's the capitalist culture we live in. I just wanted to see what was on sale. And they had those backpacks that were like you put them on your back and there's like a clear plastic bubble and
Yeah.
you can put your cat inside of it, your indoor cat, and take your indoor cat outside. And it was really cheap. And I was like, But then I realized, for one, I have a kid and it would be hard to do this, like bring my cat out too. And I think my cats probably just hate it anyway. So I didn't pull the trigger, but I thought it could be cool. Because that's like a way to take your cat outside, but not risk taking your cat outside.
And yes, there was a cat story in what do you call it in next door, big controversy.
Oh
Here,
no, what
yeah, here it is.
happened?
A woman was petting a cat, and the cat bit her.
Oh,
Yeah,
the nerve.
and so she put it out on, hey, does anybody know this cat? It might be this cat that bit me. And it was just, how it just just goes out of control. Someone's like,
Oh my
you
gosh.
shouldn't be petting cats, and they're not friendly. I was like, oh shit, and she's like, yeah, just all kinds of stuff. I feel sorry
Yeah,
for you. Go get tested and all. Just
go
cat
get
craziness. So
tested.
yeah,
I think I got an STD from a cat.
yeah. Oh, is he? Hello, Teresa. How you doing?
Hello, Teresa. Oh, nice to see you. So you're gonna put your cat in a bag.
I think that's
Maybe.
yeah,
I think I've decided against it, but I thought very seriously about it. And I might do it in the future. Right now, I put my baby in a backpack. So she's kind of got my backpack covered.
yeah,
But yeah, okay. So speaking of Nextdoor, I haven't been on there in probably over a year because it's just a shit show of often racist or just
yeah,
like
yeah,
controversial, weird comments. But I have to say, I kind of missed it. I had to create an account because we're trying to put grass in our yard. So if anyone out there watching wants to pull it, whatever, it's like a really complex job, thousands of dollars. We had no idea. But anyway, yeah, man, it's still just as crazy as I
what kind of
remembered.
grass?
Well, we just need grass. Like the grass part isn't that expensive. It's the fact that our yard is basically like a flood zone. It floods every winter. So there's no point in putting grass in unless we make it like, sloping, put a drainage system in. There's all this stuff that will cost a lot of money to do beforehand. The drains out there are already clogged. It's one of
Yeah,
those things that like I'll bet if this were my profession, I'd be like, yeah, Melissa, it costs thousands of dollars because it's a lot of work. But because I was just like, oh, I want grass. That's a simple job. I'm kind of bummed that it's so expensive because it just doesn't sound like a fun thing to spend a lot of money on. You know what I mean?
yeah. Put some seeds down, see what happens.
I know. I just throw them out there. Inevitably, some grass grows every winter. It's just not enough for like, I have a kid and I would like her to have grass. But yeah, so next door, man, it's nuts. There's
Yeah.
just insane threads. So I've just been, I guess, it's also really just interesting. Speaking of like the woman who got bit by a cat, you'll come upon a post and be like, are these people for real? Do these people actually have their address listed? They're actually like standing by these things that they're saying by we know where you live. It's an interesting place. So anyone
Oh,
that's not
it
on next
is.
door,
I used to be
yeah.
obsessed with misconnections on God, what was that?
Craigslist.
Craigslist. Does
Yeah.
that still exist?
I think it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
been on there for a couple of years, but I mean, that was where we all used to look for apartments and everything. I remember I bought a bike off. I mean, we bought lots of stuff off Craigslist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That used to be my go-to thing, like watching the misconnections. I,
Oh my
I
gosh,
was
they're
at his
so
laundromat.
interesting.
I was at his laundromat. You were in the third washer. I saw
Wow.
you. You looked at me and ran.
Oh, you had a button and you dropped it on the ground.
Yeah. That's what I remember.
I
So
always wondered about misconnections because I find them fascinating too. How often do you think it was that both people, like the one person posted and the other person actually read it? Like, I wonder how often that actually happened because it just seems so random and unlikely, I guess. But
yeah,
back then, when there was only a couple of sites, maybe it wasn't as unlikely.
it's true. I mean, I think there were some, some connections. I'm sure
There's
people
some
were.
found connections.
I'm sure there was some imposter connections too. That was me.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And then you meet them and you're like, wait a second, that was not you. Ooh. I was at the third washer too.
See, I knew it. I knew it.
Speaking of
So
misconnections, this is one of the reasons I don't drink anymore. I remember one night going out and just being very social and giving out my number like there was no tomorrow, and then the next day I get all these calls and I'm like, who are these people? But I think I know who this one person was, and he asked me out on a date, and this was literally a decade ago because I've been sober for 8 years now, over 8 years, so it's probably more like 12 years ago. And anyway, we decided to meet up, and we meet up, and I get there, and I am like, oh my goodness, this is not who I thought it was. Who is this person? I was very uncomfortable. Alcohol was a main ingredient because I would have had I probably knew that the night before that, but for some reason, all of my senses were numbed because I was drenched in alcoholic induced, whatever.
stuff.
Yeah. So it almost felt like that, where it was like a blind date I set myself up on because I didn't remember it.
Oh,
And we only had one. It wasn't his fault. It was mine. But yeah, that's why people like myself shouldn't be drinking, because it was an excess and
that's
ended in things like that.
the chicken outfit.
What?
And now you have a chicken outfit, so
I know.
yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of chicken outfit, you probably saw every year on Thanksgiving, my family and I usually wear these and stand on the side of the road for the Run to Feed the Hungry and wave signs and dance. And it's so much fun. I think we talked about this last week. And anyway, obviously the run didn't happen because most things aren't happening. So I
Yeah.
didn't get a chance to wear my chicken suit, but I also have gotten to wear it so many times on our show. So I was like, in the scheme of things, I was able to do like little bits of this like character for so long that
Yeah.
it made it a little bit easier. So
What's funny,
yeah.
I was confused if you did it or not. I thought you were on the road I thought you were on the road by yourselves, just sitting there waiting for someone to run by.
I wanted to do that. I actually asked Michael if he would just stand on the side of the road, and he was like, no, it's already weird to do it when there's people running down the road. If we're just on the side of the road, you're weird, Melissa. So we didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how is everyone doing out there tonight on Cali Cocktail Hour? Melissa, we'll go to a song, we'll come back, and then I want to talk about your book because it is
Okay.
out.
Yeah,
Yes.
that would be awesome.
So everybody, hello and we love you and thank you for coming. And we're going to go to a song and we'll be right back. We'll see what happens. Okay, this song.
Awesome.
So, yeah, welcome to Cali Cocktail Hour. We will be back after the song, and stay close out there, right? Stay safe, not close.
Stay safe. Don't be too close to people without a mask.
That's right.
Stay
That's
close
what
to
it
your
was.
screen.
That's
Yeah.
right.
All right, I'm gonna mute myself so I can drink really loudly.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Carissa.
Good
Carissa,
thing.
you got to tell us more. You have to tell us more about these things you're nervous about. I'm intrigued. I hear that's called nerve-sighted. Nervous and excited. Nerve-sighted.
Ashley and Samaya are here, I bet.
Oh, look at that cutie. Talking about Ashley. Samaya's cute too.
The YouTube.
Ashley, are you wearing headphones or is Samaya just like out so you can like listen to stuff?
This song is called Ghosts, just so you know. About spirits dancing in the wind, playing cats.
I like it.
Cats' butts in the air. Thank you everybody for coming to Cali Cocktail Hour. Any question, any feelings you have out there, please, we are here for you. That's what we do the show for you in this community of communities.
Skydiving. Are we talking about skydiving?
Yes, we are now. Yes, Chris, skydiving. I did it once. I did it on my birthday too, so.
I can't really hear you in my phone. Oh, okay. So YouTube's better. Oh, you have a sleeping baby on your lap. Whoa. And Chris, that's impressive that you've gone skydiving. That is something that sounds cool. I love flying in my dreams, but actually jumping out of a plane, I'd probably do that thing that guy did. I think we've talked about it, where he like freaked out and wouldn't get out of the plane and started like screaming and sobbing and crying, and he went viral for that. So good for you, Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike Whipple.
How you doing, Mike? How's it going? Another great guy.
It looks awesome like in the profile picture, he's coming out of someone's crown. Do you see that? That's awesome.
I thought it was actually deer ears, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I hear my baby screaming. This is my daughter's nap time. So not nap time, bedtime. So she is in protest. But anyway, I'm glad you guys are all joining us. If you're here and you haven't said anything, you don't have to. We're happy you're here and being quiet. That's okay. But if you feel like dropping us a sentence or a word, how are you feeling? Good, bad, nervous, excited, details. Give us all the deets. We would say, welcome to Cali Cocktail Hour. And yeah.
So, like I said, I want to get to actually I want to get to your book.
Okay.
Sure, because I know that we talked about it a little bit. Yeah. See, because I went skydiving once too. So.
Did you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
You've jumped out of an airplane? Brilliant.
Yes. Yes.
I had no idea.
And I had a dream before that I was
gonna die.
No, I had a dream that I was just gonna let it happen. I was scared. I mean, it's scary, go up there, and it was just so. Wait a minute. See, this is now it's full circle, Carissa. I love it. We did. Where was the comment of skydiving? I didn't see it. Now I'm got.
That's funny.
Yeah, it
So
didn't
we were
show
just
up.
like, we thought those were unrelated.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, I wonder what she's nervous about.
Well, so let's go, Mike. What was your sorry, repeating myself. What was your biggest fear about skydiving?
Pumpkin. Oh my God.
And then Carissa,
So
yeah,
what is your
awesome.
motivation? And if you want to give us like your last thoughts, just in case the parachute doesn't open. I'm just
Yes,
kidding.
Carissa.
Wait,
Mine,
so
yeah,
Teresa went skydiving too? Or she's feeling accomplished? I think now
no,
I'm getting all these things mixed up.
it's dyslexia. That's why. I'm like looking at these things. I'm like, okay.
I also think it's like if we get them in the wrong order, then on our side, not on other
Oh,
people's.
hey, hold on. She's right.
Okay. Did you just miss that comment?
Yes, that solves the whole. That is there.
Ah.
Yes, yes.
And we were like,
So
Chris, why are you talking about skydiving?
no, I was like, did I say something about skydiving? Because
You did. You blacked out for a second, and you were just like in this trance, and you were just like skydiving.
come on, skydiving's cool.
So yeah, how exciting! I love where this is going, all you daredevils. So
Yeah.
Ruben's been skydiving. All of you, well, Chris is about to go. That's an exciting place to be at. I'm wondering, do you feel like you can't sleep? And Carissa, have you been before? Is this something you've always wanted to do? Chris is a good sport about it.
So Chris did go. So that's it. Yeah. Okay. So Chris, me, Mike, and Carissa.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
So
Teresa just is feeling accomplished in this night, in this moment,
let's
which
see.
I love. So Mike, I had no real fear, but once I got into the plane, I was crapping myself. Did you wear a diaper? That's my first question.
Space
That said,
beds.
oh, Carissa, are you going to wear a diaper? That said, once I took the step outside, it was incredible. Ooh, that's so scary,
Yeah.
but also that sounds cool. Like that moment is why people go, right?
Yeah. You can't see it. You know, it's so weird. Like all you see is like clouds or nothing. Luckily, my vision's not so great. So I'm like, am I here yet? You
God,
know.
are you there, God? Were you wearing your outfit when you went skydiving? I think he means oh my God, your crow outfit because you're a bird.
Yes,
And were
I
you
did.
singing, I'm like a bird, I'll only fly away?
I remember my yeah. Yes. I
What were
remember
you going
just
to say?
I remember yelling like and it was like a cartoon, and
Nah.
yeah, and then where you stop yelling because you're just still falling. So yeah,
You mean because like, did the air leave your lungs or
well,
something?
because you're like, oh, okay, you're just falling, and whatever happens, happens. I think at some point you just surrender, like this is it, right?
Wow.
And Mike went poo prior. That I didn't think about
Everyone,
that.
we need the details on your bowel movements here.
Yes.
Diaper, no diaper. I mean, diarrhea
Yeah.
is a real
Yeah.
possibility
But
when you're nervous.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. It was
yeah.
yeah. So it was nerve wracking, but it was cool.
That,
It was fun. Yeah, it was
how
really
how
fun.
long ago was that, Ruben?
Years ago, probably over 15 years ago.
What was your
I
motivation to
thought
go?
I thought I was gonna do it. It was my birthday. I think everybody does it on their birthday, right? And
Yeah.
then Chris, is your birthday tomorrow, or are you just doing it? I'd like to know why Carissa's doing it and where is she doing it?
Hmm.
Because that would be fun to see eventually.
Tilly and
So
I stand in the backyard, and whenever she sees, it's usually a helicopter, but whenever she sees an airplane, she goes, Abba! So whatever we see one tomorrow, I'll just be like, maybe that's Carissa. Maybe there's Carissa.
see,
Which
great
really, she's probably
vocals.
going to be out in the fields.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Serge.
See, I was gonna tell her to wear what did I call you? Melissa Rose today or something like that? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Axe,
because my
because
hair was.
you had Axe Rose hair today.
I have some wild hair underneath this chicken hat. It's pretty wild.
Let's see.
Okay, I've never been, but I feel it's something I need to do. Facing fears helps me present myself in a more authentic way. In moments where I feel insecure, I'll be able to tell myself, I'm that bitch who jumped out of a plane. I love that. That's totally going to be your mantra, right? Whenever you're like going up to present at some big event, or you're about to like go on this date and this incredible person, and you're like, I'm a bitch who jumped out of a plane.
That's right.
I love that. Yeah.
And
I was thinking
that's
about
oh
the Eleanor Roosevelt quote where she says, "Do one thing every day that scares you," or something like that. But I was like, that takes on a whole new meaning in the time of COVID because it could scare you to walk by someone in the park, you know? It's like everything is different now. So Mike went on his friend's birthday. Nice. Yeah. All about it,
so
guys. That's awesome.
yeah. And I want to tell Serge, if you're out there in Chicago, look for the Miguel Barnetta. That's Mike's brand or
You just
Mike's.
broke up a little
Yes.
bit. Look for who?
Neta Mezcal. That's what Mike. That's where I know Mike from.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you're in
Nice.
Chicagoland, I think do they have Neta in Chicago, Mike? So he's a
Well, I
great
hope they do.
great people, great mezcal. They help out the community. They don't just sell it, but they actually help out the community, which is a great thing that we have to do. So
Nice.
help out the community out there in deep Oaxaca. So um,
Mm.
yeah, and Chicago with Surge too. But yeah. I'm curious to see. I want to see what happened after Chris's skydiving. Because I was like, I'm gonna go right up because you get like this high. It's just a really
Mm.
adrenaline rush. Like I'm gonna do it again, and like you want to go back up again, you can't, but then you never do it. Again.
Mm.
You're like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
good actually. I did that. So,
I almost
but
feel like skydiving instructors, like the people who tandem jump with you,
yeah,
I kind of feel like they're in the same role as like a labor and delivery nurse, just as someone who's had a baby. That is such a huge moment. Leading up to it is like this massively terrifying in many ways event. And it's like this big moment of your life that you never forget.
yeah,
So I can imagine. I just think that whenever you're in a role like that as a human, it's kind of what an honor that you're that person who gets to jump out of the plane while Ruben's going, ah, or
yeah.
like,
I'm like,
whatever's
oh
happening
yeah.
for people. And it's so
It is
normal for
the
them.
once they pull that little thing, it's zero gravity and it feels so fucking good. It really does. You're
Really.
like, whoa. Yeah, it
Yeah.
really does. There's something about it. You're like, what the hell? You're when you're floating down, and I mean, it's all really cool because there's so many different um, things, that you feel. So,
Mm, yeah.
let's see. Mike says yes, we'll be there soon in Chicago. Yes, Serge. So get the word out. Serge is a good guy to get the word out for Neta Mezcal. So, um,
He's a people that you need to know. He's a tipping point person.
yeah, that's right. He's the digital nomad from Zacatecas, Mexico.
Oh, standing at the
Uh,
door, I thought I'm gonna die. Stepping out was pure bliss. Oh, see, it's just like childbirth.
yeah.
Same thoughts. Hey, John.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Happy late Thanksgiving. Happy
That's
Friday
right.
after. Yeah. So the person who I'm going to be in tandem with is an old friend who is a recovering addict. Skydiving is a way for him to remain sober. Oh, okay. Interesting. I like it.
Yeah. You know what's super interesting too, because I just saw this chili pepper contest, right?
Uh-huh.
And
Was it
most of
like a
the
bathing suit contest where they were all wearing bikinis?
chilies.
The chili peppers were all dressed up. I don't
Oh
know.
no, yes.
Oh my God.
Um,
Yeah.
but it's super interesting. They're like just eating these fucking insane peppers, all this stuff. But most of the people were in recovery, and
Interesting.
yeah, and she was saying that this is what so this kind of rush that she has helps her channel that into it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
super because I think 4 out of 5 people were yeah in recovery. Yeah, it was super
Yeah,
interesting documentary. I was
that's
like,
an
wow,
interesting psychological idea, which of course I've noticed as someone that's also sober. I
yeah,
know that people need to find something to replace the behavior and not so much the high. I guess that's the thing is that from like a my perspective standpoint, that's not sustainable. And
yeah,
I know that like I have my own things that don't exactly get me high, but it's like have maybe it's working out or some like really intense
yeah,
hobby
yeah.
or
That's what I mean.
yeah.
I mean like
No, it's totally a
yeah.
consistent thing.
Yeah,
And you
it
know
was
what?
interesting to me though. I was like, who's gonna eat those fucking hot peppers? Because as a Mexican, no one's gonna eat those hot peppers. We don't do that. You
Really?
know,
There's never any Mexicans in those
not
contests?
really. I don't. I always I told my Melissa, I'm like, hey, do you ever notice there's no Mexicans in there? Because we know how to
That's
eat peppers.
funny.
We know what peppers are peppers. They're
You're
not there
like,
to like so
we
my
have
ass burns
adapted to not
afterwards.
eat those.
Yeah, it's like yes,
I do remember learning about like these types of extreme personalities because I remember in one of my psych classes talking about how ultra marathon runners are like really specific kind of person,
Yeah.
which I have a few friends that have done. These are like 100-mile races where you have to stay up more than 24 hours and you're like running the whole time, and things that are just completely, for me, hard to understand, but
Yeah.
they're really drawn to those things. And who's,
What's up,
who's to
COVID?
judge?
Corvid.
COVID, Corbett.
John's doing great.
Yeah, how's everybody
Um,
doing?
yeah,
Pumpkin's doing
the
really
chili
well
pepper
too.
contest. Yes, it was actually about the guy who made the Carolina Reaper, and it was like the hottest chili in the world. Now he made 10 chilies that are hotter than that. I'm like, who would eat that stuff? Like, what's the
Was he like
point?
breeding them? Like he's
Yeah,
a
he's breeding
farmer?
them. Yeah, he's a breeding them. Yeah, but he eats them too. So he's,
Wow.
he's just like, I love it. So, anyways,
Yeah.
John has a very
Huh.
quiet day, and also a chili
Wet
wet
t-shirt
t-shirt
contest.
contest. That'll burn my nipples off, John. I'm sorry, because chili does burn that way too. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So and happy everybody's here. Thank you for coming for Cali Cocktail Hour. Um,
Yeah.
so Melissa, your book. May I
Yeah.
1 second, real quick. We got before we go.
Um, I grew up with many close family members that were pulled toward other healthy addictions that helped them to stay sober. I'm a rock climber for 28 years. That's awesome. Yeah.
Rock
Gotta
climbing's
find the,
that's another one too. That's would scare me more than jumping out of a plane.
well, they have ropes usually, unless you're like not that it's not scary, but I feel like the risk is different. Mike, you can answer that.
Yeah,
But I think a lot of people climb with, you know, bungee cords and stuff.
yeah. I mean,
It's like super
if
easy.
you know, if there's skydiving, you're done. That's it. But rock climbing, you get injured, and that
Yeah.
hurts.
Ooh, that's true. And it is really hard. I remember just going to whatever that gym is in Sacramento with the rock wall and thinking like, and I was in pretty good shape at this point. Now I would definitely not think I could do this, but I was
Right.
like a fit person and I was so sore. I remember like my thumbs were sore, places that I didn't even know I had muscles that after this like hour of trying to climb 5 feet of rock. So my chicken hat is off to you. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to talk about my book really fast because we do not have to spend a lot of time on it. I wrote a book. It's
Well, let,
out.
can I
If
may I
you want
bring
to,
may I bring
sure.
up
Yeah.
the okay?
Yeah. The picture of it. So
Yes.
if you, oh, I forgot you put my mom and I on there. So it's called Questions You'll Wish You Asked. It's a journaling book. It's for mothers and daughters. And it is a book full of questions that I wish I asked my mom, some of which I know I did, and I just don't remember the answers to. And that's why I think it's a real cool thing to write things down because then you have these like cemented memories. And if it was your mom writing them, it's kind of a neat thing to be able to look back on. So it's questions like, is there a book that you hope I'll read? What have you learned from heartbreak? If there's, if you want me to remember one thing said to me forever, what is that thing? And it just gives our parents a chance to, for one, I think it helps people to set aside differences. And at this moment, there's a lot of families that I know a lot of my friends are not super close with their because maybe their moms just voted for someone they didn't vote for. There's a lot of political
Yeah.
disconnect or COVID disconnect. And so I think it's a chance to like bring people together. I also think it'd be great for moms or like younger moms because I'm filling it out for my daughters just out of this want to have something cemented, like a legacy. Matt, I all the questions are super neutral. Like the questions in the book could apply to mothers or sons or daughters.
Yeah.
But because the cover says, mothers and daughters, I would guess that if she got it, it'd probably be like, ah, anyway, I'm thinking of making a more neutral book or one for mothers and sons or sons and parents soon. But this one was the one that tugged at my heartstrings since I was close with my mom.
Hello.
Matt, good to see you.
Yeah.
And yesterday was actually 7 years since my mom passed away, which, it's always like I never really know how I'm going to feel. And I ended up feeling really sad and also really grateful. Like this book has been my way of, it's like the messiness of life. Like, since I can't do this, since I can't talk to my mom, what I can do is help other people talk to theirs. And so I hope if that's something that sounds at all interesting, whether for you or for someone that you know and love, if you have a mom, if you have a daughter, if you have a sister with daughters, or a mother, obviously, I think it's a really great book. You can get it, by the way, I would get it on Amazon. And actually, I'll share the link right now, if you are interested in getting it. Although, Ruben, whenever I post in, I'm going to share it on.
Why don't you private chat me and I can post it. I think.
I just put it in the comments. I wasn't sure if it was going to start playing. Sometimes when I
Yeah, can.
comment on our
Yeah.
live, it'll start playing our live in like echo. But anyway, yeah. So that's how you can get it. And yeah. So thanks. That's my book. And I have been exhausted lately, for lots of reasons, and not really the best at promoting it, which is my first book. It was already going to be a learning curve. So if you feel like sharing it with anyone, that would mean a lot to me, because I need all the help I can get at this point. I think COVID already made it a little bit interesting to be a new
Yeah.
author or try and get your book carried in bookstores, which I am trying to do. I don't have any connections to local bookstores, but I've been trying to reach out and be like, do you want to carry some copies? But people aren't going into brick and mortar stores. So it's also like, okay, that's probably not going to happen right now. So yeah,
And yeah,
good
and
Christmas gift.
I personally I think that people should buy the book too, and they can change it themselves if they want to, but I think it's a great. Hold on a second.
Oh, thank you, Carissa. I will totally autograph it for you. Happy to. That's the other thing, is that I didn't do any kind of personal launch, as in like order it straight from me, because I was like, I don't know if people want me writing in the journal they're going to share with their mom. If this was like a book that I wrote, totally would have done it. But if you want me to sign it, I'm so happy to. Oh, Matt. Yeah. Matt's sister works at a publisher in Brooklyn. Yeah, please. That would be amazing. I haven't really, I just self published. I was just like, I'm opening the door for myself rather than trying to get it published by someone else. I just figured I'd just get it out there. And it's so much easier to have a publisher because they do all of this stuff for you. Of course, you're still a part of like promoting it, but it was a lot of work. So that was the other part of this. It was cool just to like realize, okay, this is what it entails to write and create and design and print and distribute and price, like things that you never really think about. So if anyone out there is interested in writing a book, I have some information about that now.
Yeah.
You're
So
welcome to hit me up.
thank you. And I think, and like I said, I love the concept of the book. I know we talked about that before. You did it too, or you know put it out, and I just think it's a really good thing to do, especially when you're young. Because you just never know what's going to happen and how much time
Yeah.
you have. And it is hard to. I just did that with my dad the other day. Yesterday is actually first time in my life I ever asked him about anything.
Yeah.
And I go, I know you were an asshole to me when I was growing up, and I had to forgive you for a lot of things, but
You did not say that.
that was in the back of my head. What was my grandmother's name? Right? Yeah.
What? Like wanting to ask him actual questions
Yeah.
that only he
Yeah.
knows the answers to.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
he's the last, not that, because he is the last of the two, right? And I was like, I
Yeah.
need to find out, I mean, he's more in my Spanish side or Iberian side, I would say. And I'm
Hmm.
really looking for more on my indigenous side, but I was like, I'm just going to ask him. I'm like, hey, by the way, what is the Gallegos? What does that name have to do with anything? Because that's just Mexicans take their
Yeah.
mom's maiden names, so it gets all confusing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's always like me, I'm Ruben Briseño Reveles, but in Mexico, I'm Ruben Reveles Briseño. We keep our mom's maiden name. The guys do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it gets really
Well, good for
confusing
you for
on.
asking
Yeah,
and taking that leap. And that's the tough thing about loving people while they're still alive, because I think that's the other mistake, or just like very human thing that we do, which is, for one, thinking we have a lot of time, or for
yeah,
two, just thinking, I maybe this is the same thing. I'll ask at some point. I wonder what the answer to this question is. I have this other book I found. It's called like My Life Story, and it has all these unfilled out questions I had about my own family history. And I remember thinking like, oh, I need to ask my mom this. And so good for you for asking. And
well, and when you put that book out, I was like, I wish that I would have asked my mom when she was alive those questions, because I was
yeah,
too nervous. I was too afraid, that she would think that I was, knowing she's going away, or something like that too. So, but it would have been easier,
yeah,
like, hey, I got this book, and You know what I mean? Like it's almost like you had something
Hmm.
physical in your hand, like so it doesn't seem so. Uh, but one of the things that I noticed that even with my father, he lit up. He's, oh, you want to know about me? I'm like, well, technically I want to know about my grandmother. What was your grandmother's name? What was because it goes way deep in Mexico at that point. But I wish, like I said, I wish I would have known more about my mother. That's why I really emoted to that book that you wrote. So yeah,
And also, I should say too, I mean, if you were not put off by the cover, which I did make somewhat like feminine, all the questions are neutral. So you could literally just, if you wanted to just use it as like a springboard to say, as like a script, I guess you might say, to ask questions of any parent, you could do that. Which that's something else I was thinking is that, let's say you have a parent that really isn't that into writing and they let you do this. I think it could be cool to just like record their answers, like sit down if you get
yeah,
to see them at a table. I think it would actually be even cooler in some ways because you'd have their voice. Well, it's different. Writing is really neat to me, but yeah, I get why it can feel awkward because, for one, speaking to your mom, Ruben, if you know that someone is sick and ailing, it can feel like you're talking about that thing that many people don't like to talk about, which is their own death. Or it can feel, I actually had a friend who died of breast cancer a year and a half ago. She was young, she was
yeah,
only 37, and she had a young daughter who was like 2. And I sent her, it was something like letters for my daughter. It was like this little envelope book and
yeah,
just a bunch of like letters you could write to your daughter, kind of the same idea, but I don't think that there were prompts. And I remember really struggling with how to write her card because I was like, I don't want to say, write on these because you're dying and your daughter needs to know how remember you. But I also didn't want to not say that. It's like that's part of what like we all knew she was dying. And
yeah,
so it can be, I would just do it now, whatever it is, whoever the questions are for, mom, dad, sister, friend.
yeah. And it is, and the thing is, like, had I known the effect that it would have had to ask her, she would have loved it, because I know that's one of the biggest things about the generation, the older generation before them, or your grandma, stuff like that. That they don't think that you care about them, about their past, right? They
Mm,
get so you want, and that's one thing, like, you care about me, and so. Um, yeah, and that's one thing that I've noticed with every time you ask someone, some people will be guarded, but there's always like that, uh, they toughed it out or they did this, and I'm like, no, they didn't tough it out. No one ever really asked them, and you're supposed to be
mm,
quiet, right? You're supposed to be quiet back in that generation too. So
mm-hmm.
it's interesting, interesting to see.
Yeah,
So, hola, Vero Reveles. Oh, see, so I don't. There's another one. Reveles Clark is it confusing to me? Not confusing, but the names are
I love
right.
how she's just like, why am I confusing to you? Because we're
No, no,
talking
no,
about the
no.
name.
Yeah, I'm talking about the names, and I mean, I am Brasenio Reveles, and my dad is Gallegos. I'm like, where did you get the Gallegos from? He's like, well,
Mm,
and I said, well, what about that? He said Martinez. I'm like, okay, now I'm really confused. I'm like, where did the
yeah.
hell did Martinez come from? From you got to go both flat. So, but I did find out,
Yeah.
I did find out some stuff about my mom, which was cool. I mean,
That's
so
awesome.
you want to read what Matt said?
So Matt said, we did that with our grandfather. We recorded it, asked him a bunch of questions. It was happy and sad because I learned how much he was not involved in my dad's life. That's really cool that you did that. And I can definitely see why it would be a mix
Yeah,
because that's the other thing about living people. And I keep thinking this for a lot of reasons, but the complexity is always there, but especially when our family's still alive, it's easier to also have like, get your butt off the screen, pumpkin. Oh my
that's
God.
a nice butt.
He
It's a
picks
nice
like the
butt.
best moments to be like, hey guys, here's my butt.
Yeah.
um,
See,
yeah.
and Brad said I have the best stories of my family from really my, parents and yeah, and that's what you kind of do, right?
And Brad, that's awesome. And what I would also wonder or ask is, are you gonna pass those to your kids or to your, nieces and nephews, or are these things you're writing down? And also, if they stop with you, that's okay too. But I think that my part of my issue was that my mom, I asked her so many questions. I was like such a question asker, but I don't remember a lot. A lot of the answers I got, I remember how I felt, which was like, oh, it's cool to listen to my mom talk. But I don't know, who her first date was with, or like,
Yeah.
insert thing I would just kind of be curious about. So Mike said, it's always hard to ask the difficult questions, but in my experience, you'll find it liberating when you step into that space. I
That's
have the book
true.
right here, by the way. So I guess I could just open it and flip some open. Some of these too are really neat because obviously I'm looking at this as like, I'm going to fill this out for my daughters, but it makes you think about what are my answers to these questions? Like, what was your favorite thing about your mother? What about her did you struggle with? This is obviously to your mom, or I could write this about my mom, or there's a part that's just about like, is there a song that always makes you feel better? Do you have any favorite quotes? And it's kind of like in getting to know our families better, we also get to know ourselves better. For one, because we're influenced by them, but also because we can ask ourselves the same things, right? Yeah,
Absolutely.
they're great stories. I tell everyone. That's awesome. And really, that is a beautiful art form in and of itself, just like oral storytelling and how that, transmits legacies and lessons and all of that.
Yeah, and that's,
So,
like I said, the book that, that you are writing also invokes different memories from everybody else too, right? There's always one
yeah.
person in the family that is the storyteller, or they care enough, right? Or they care enough to, to dig in, and find out. Right now, I am on my, and well, I've always been for almost 12 years now, my indigenous roots, but I ended up going to, to Oaxaca because and I realized why I go down to Oaxaca because, um, it's in Zacatecas. There's no, you don't hear the native language anymore. So I'm like 54% of me wants to go hear a native language, a native tongue, not Spanish. And
What is the native language?
in where in Oaxaca?
Yeah.
Oh, there's many. I think there's. I mean, Mike might correct me, but there's like maybe 16 dialects, maybe even more. So you hear it.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Yeah. And where we're from, there's not. I even asked my aunt, and they didn't know where we're from. I realized that I have to dig deeper than that. But also feel I'm a person of sound, so I need to hear that that kind of, I don't know. There's something
Mm,
inside me that really that pulls to me in that area. Even my dad
yeah.
says, "Oh, you go to Zacatecas," It's like go find them. I'm like, no, it's just for me, it's like it's a more nature nurturing. Oaxaca is more nurturing for me than anything
Mm,
else,
mm-hmm.
and it is
Yeah.
because of the energy and because of stories and all that stuff too. Um, but Mike said, "Right on, Melissa," and
Thanks, Mike.
yeah,
An old friend of mine used to tell me people are made of stories. Ooh, I'm so excited. I'm actually waiting for a book right now called Cassandra Speaks. When women are the storytellers, the story changes. And it really speaks to how I haven't read the book yet, but just I heard this woman on a podcast and it just sounded fascinating how we're built on stories and how so much of being a woman exists on this idea of Eve, even if you never went to church, that like women are the ones that were tempted and ate the apple, and or Pandora opened that goddamn box, or anyway, these stories, like we are these stories. We live from these stories, especially if we don't realize it. So Miguel said, cultural legacy defines our shared humanity. Cultural legacy defines our shared humanity. Yeah, yeah,
and Miguel is also a wonderful, great artist. I met him, I think, probably some years ago. Awesome, nice, awesome dude,
yeah. I
awesome
love
guy.
that. So
Um,
true. I
yeah,
noticed you have. Wait,
I think that
what?
was back on the Embracing Oaxaca, which is goes by
Oh,
my headband tonight. I know
mm,
it's a female's headband, but
is it?
yes.
Is that Melissa's?
No, it's mine. I got that at Oaxaca. I got it for her, but I was like, I got her like 10 of them. I said,
I wouldn't even know it was a female's headband, by the way. I just thought it was something
no,
from Oaxaca.
yeah, it is. I know. I mean, it's not female. It's androgynous. That's my new thing right now. I'm going back. Um,
mm. My grandpa would love telling us stories when he came to the USA as a bracero. My kids also love to hear the stories too. Oh, and
see,
that's, I guess, one of the beautiful things about holidays when we're able to get together with family are those moments of like shared storytelling.
yeah, and I think that's where when we start seeing things like that too. Like, um, it is shared. Some people love to tell them, some people love to hear them. In our families, there's always people that just don't want to hear them, but us that do, or people that do, because you define a lot of your stuff from your own DNA too, and your own legacy too. So.
Yeah, yeah. And I actually, speaking of questions you don't want to ask, I'm describing this again because I have a section here on difficulty and on goodbye. And those are both things I think people don't like to talk about a lot. And also I think they're the things I wonder the most about with my own mom. Like, how did you overcome struggle other than just what I saw with my two eyes? And like, what did you think happened when you die? What do you want to leave me with? How do you want to be remembered? I think that's a cool question for anyone, which I feel like I did used to ask this on the podcast, because I remember asking you this, Ruben. And you said, as a good person, or something like very, like, I want to be remembered as good. But, if people are talking about you at your funeral, what do you want them to say? I love thinking about the future in that way. And also it's uncomfortable, right? Especially if you're talking to someone sick, or maybe they are staring at their own death in some way. And yeah,
so,
my family on the Dominguez side tells the same stories over and over.
It's always
and over.
one side, right? I think.
That's so true. Yeah.
See, well, Mezcal is the mother of all agaves, which is another story within stories of spirituality and families, and a lot of like different angles too that we're talking about too. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
Big Fish. Yeah. I still love that movie. I love Big Fish. Everyone
that
needs
caught
to
me
watch
off guard.
Big Fish.
I didn't know what it's about. I'm like, I'll see a movie about a fish, especially a big fish.
A big fish.
I'm like, why am I crying?
Did you cry?
Yeah, of course.
That's funny.
I cry at commercials. Melissa's like, "Are you crying?" I'm like, "No."
You're crying.
I'm always.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I remember when I went to see Big Fish in theaters. I actually saw it so many times because I had a friend who worked at Regal Cinemas in Natomas, and I loved the movie, and we would just see it over and over. But I remember the first time I saw it, when I was leaving, there was this older man and I think his wife, and he was just sobbing. Like the movie had ended and he was just like racking. You could just tell he was sobbing. And it is an emotional movie. Anyone who hasn't seen it should watch it. But it was so moving to see. I don't know. My story in my head was like, maybe he had lost his dad, because that is kind of what the movie's about.
So. Yeah. I'm sure it was. I mean, it seems like it's kind of like your book, right? What you wrote. It seemed like a very personal story.
Yeah. So yeah, it's funny. I think I referenced this earlier when I was talking about Surge. Malcolm Gladwell has a book, an author named Malcolm Gladwell. Wow, I cannot say this. Can you read this? Tipping point. I see myself as a salesperson, contagious enthusiasm, social floater, Uber social circles, and maven. People ask me what to buy and do. I don't remember these terms. It's been so long since I read the book, but I see you as those things too. What I remember about this book, for anyone who hasn't read it, is it talks about how trends and changes and any kind of change in society catches on, whether it's a type of shoe style or dance move or way of thinking about race. It could be anything. And how there are people who play a role in change, and we're all a part of it. But there are some people who are, I hate the term influencer at this point because it's like we think of Instagram or whatever, but truly like influencers who will like, once they start, talking about these shoes, suddenly they're super popular. Or it's a great book. Love that movie. Definitely one of the best Tim Burton films. Love me some magical realism. Yes, so good. I want them to play Cool by Morris Day and the Time. Who's them? Ruben, you always remember what people are referring to. So who's Matt talking about?
Sorry. I'm gonna have to refer to you, Matt, on that one, because I got a little bit confused. I was reading, so
I love you, Sarah Templeton, and I will marry you. I think that's from Big Fish.
Serge is also very lyrically evolved.
I know.
Right?
Serge, I was just thinking, do you go and Google this stuff and then come back and type it? Because your mind holds on to details that mine
no. Sorry. It's Brad again with the Texarkana salad. That's going to be on the cookbook, Brad.
One of my questions in the book is, what did you cry when they stopped serving at Tower Cafe?
Yeah.
Mine was the Thai noodle salad. Magnolia will also make you cry. Another father-son movie. I haven't seen Magnolia.
Oh, at my funeral. Okay, that's okay.
I love how if that's an out of context quote too, I'd be like, wait, at your funeral, what are you
Uh,
talking? But now I get it. So at your funeral, you want them to play cool. We need to
yeah,
remember this. Please
yeah,
don't die soon, Nat. But if you
yeah.
do, Ruben
I
and
got
I,
it. I got it.
okay, Ruben will carry this for you.
And then Mike wants to know, why did you write this book? What did you need to get out of it?
Oh my gosh, you're asking me a question about myself. I would love to answer this.
Yes.
Why did I write this book? I don't know. I've talked about this on the show before. I actually set out to write a book, a different book that went along with my coaching business that I thought would be far more in line with like giving it to my clients or my brand or whatever. But I have been going through a tough time this last year. I think a lot of us have, and for lots of reasons in my own little family, it's just been hard. And I have been dreaming about my mom a lot and missing her a lot. And I think that if I could sound super like aspirational and a little bit cliche, it's like wanting to take my grief of what I lost and turn it into what someone else still has to do, if that makes sense. So I don't get to ask these questions, but I do get to write them down for my daughters. And I do get to encourage you to talk to your parents. And I can't talk to my mom and I can bang my head against the wall of her grave and just mourn that. Or, and I think both, I can write a book about. Here's all the stuff I wish I asked. And it's interesting, actually. That makes me think about yesterday. My partner never watches the show, so I'm just going to talk about him freely.
Yeah.
Michael never remembers the anniversary of my mom's death, and I always want him to, and he never does. And it's not because he doesn't care. I know that. So it's sort of one of those things where it's like, I can beat my head against the wall of like, why don't you remember? Or just be like, okay, you don't remember and it hurts my feelings, but I'm not going to like let it make my day any worse. And then I was thinking about when my mom was alive, she wouldn't remember stuff that I wanted her to remember either. She would talk too much. She would not listen when I wanted to tell her something really important. She would say the wrong thing. She would interrupt me with a story about herself. And I'm bringing all this stuff up because I realized I write every day. And I realized in my journaling, I started writing about all the stuff my mom did that annoyed me. And I got it was this super clear mirror of like, oh, so Michael's annoying me today. And I have all these reasons because I can always add to them. Once you like open that well, it's like, and also you didn't change Tilly's diaper fast enough, or like, whatever. But I think I saw the parallel between when people are alive, being very human, it's really easy to like hold them to unrealistic standards. But now that my mom's gone, it's easy to forget all the things that were annoying or not perfect about her. So I think if I could wrap this up, it reminded me of like how to love the people that I'm still with. Kind of like I write this book because I can't ask my mom these questions.
Yeah.
And I get to love Michael right here and now, perfectly imperfect Michael. And someday I'll forget all the annoying stuff that he did, but right now he's still annoying me. Does that
Well,
make sense? That kind of
yes.
parallel?
Yes, it does.
I don't Google info for my Feelings Fridays comments. I promise. It's my mavenness. By that he means I'm just really fucking smart, you guys. And
I
I
know. I know.
remember quotes and people's names,
Let
and
me
I'm impressed.
let me go back to Matt real quick, and then I'll see what Carissa wrote too. So Matt was have a funeral, right?
A
And we will play. Yeah,
funeral.
that's
Oh,
right.
I like it.
Yeah, I'll tell Crook and to play that for you. And
Okay.
then Carissa said,
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Carissa, okay, I'm still really, really interested in. So I wrote about my mom, or I don't remember how we figured this out. My mom was a nurse, and Carissa saw a picture of her headstone because I posted a picture of it. And she was like, wait, your mom's name was Delise? And was she a nurse? I think that's what you said. And we figured out that when Carissa was, oh, 6, she wrote this out. When Carissa was 6, she was hospitalized for an asthma attack, and she was the nurse that calmed me down. I remember the moment you sent me that message, and I was just so blown away and moved at the serendipity of it because I had just met you, Carissa. I think we just had you on the show like the week before that. And also in that time, I had written an entire blog about how my mom didn't think her life mattered very much. and how in my dark moments, it was easy for me to think maybe it didn't matter. But, and in that blog, I said, but there were all these people that because she was a nurse and a phenomenal nurse are out there living their lives, especially kids. She was really good with kids. And I wrote that like that, you know, somewhere out there, there's kids that I remember their parents used to like send us pictures saying, thank you for saving my baby when we were rushed to the ER. And I guess in my blog, I was kind of like just talking about, you never know how you're affecting the world, both
Yeah.
for yourself and for others. And so then for the next day or something, for you to be like, oh yeah, I was one of those kids. I was just so blown away. And I just think that's so amazing. So I felt like that was like a little message from my mom via Carissa, which I thought was really cool.
That's awesome.
Um, Youth is you, Melissa. Great success your way. Congratulations for publishing. Thank you. Siempre adelante, always forward. Enjoy. Thank you, Ruben. I think Miguel might be leaving. So thank you for joining us and thank you for the encouragement and
Matt said
words of
yes. I think
wisdom.
about his funeral.
I think he's just like getting stoked. Nobody's perfect. We'll always be annoyed by the ones we love, but yeah, it's about acceptance, in my opinion. Yeah, yeah. And like choosing the hills you're willing to die on. I think I have a lot of indigestion. I don't know if you guys know how much I'm burping over here, but this is Thanksgiving day 2. So come with some slack.
Luckily smell-o-vision never took off, so that's good.
Smell-o-vision.
Yeah.
I am lucky. So Carissa said, I never forgot her because of the way she spelled her name. The first letter wasn't capitalized. She was like, yeah, it doesn't have to be. And I wrote about that. Oh my gosh, I love that. Yeah, my mom didn't capitalize the D-E in her name, Delise. Oh my gosh, that's just such an incredible serendipitous.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So, and that is why we're here on Cali Cocktail Hour, because you never know what's going to happen. Right?
You don't. Yeah. You never know the ways that we're all connected. I think that's the beautiful thing about being human.
Yes. And the, the little community that's here listening to us. And,
so grateful for you guys.
Serge, we need a lyric from a song to get us through here. We always do, right?
Do you want to pick a quote, like a letter from the alphabet?
I'm going to pick a number C.
Okay. So I told Ruben earlier I have a huge like running list of quotes and they're alphabetized by author's first name. So let's go to C. Unfortunately, all I have are what I think are white men here, but I have different topics. So let's see. What sucks, I found out, that's a total aside. Okay, we're just going to go with this one. Christopher Logue said, do you hear my cat?
Yeah.
It's like wailing at the door. Christopher Logue said, come to the edge. We might fall. Come to the edge. It's too high. Come to the edge. And they came and he pushed and they flew. Oh my God, this is totally for Carissa right now. This is about skydiving.
As I said, it's the I Ching. Only the unknown knows the unknown, remember?
Yes.
We talked about that. You pull it out and it's unknown, but now it's known. Carissa, you are going to have a great time.
Oh my gosh, how beautiful. I just think that's very serendipitous that that's the quote you happen to choose.
See?
I have a couple in here. That was just the most fitting. Another one from a C name is, what did you do as a child that made the hours pass like minutes? Herein lies the keys to your earthly pursuit. I've always liked. It's sort of like for you in art, I'm guessing, Ruben, or anyone, what is that thing you did when you were a kid that just, you had so much fun and lost yourself? I think I need to go let my cat out. I'll be right back. Okay.
Is that what you did? Keep the cat out. So we have, I don't have to agree with you or to like you or to respect you. Anthony Bourdain was an awesome person too. It's sad that, what happened on the way to. Let's.
Yes. All right. I don't know if you heard him.
I think Carissa, you're gonna have a great time tomorrow.
Yeah, have so much fun.
And me as an emotional junkie, I scared the shit out of myself. I talked myself into like, you're gonna die, blah 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 blah. It kept going, but it was actually much more exciting that way. I tend to do that. Did you die? Myself. Yes, I did. Spiritually, but I was alive. Yeah.
And then so. Love you guys. Carissa, we love you too. You're going to have so much fun. Super excited for you. Do it and enjoy it. And I hope that it really empowers you for that next moment that you need that confidence. Because, yeah, I think you're right. When we do stuff that really scares us,
Yeah.
it can totally get us ready for that next thing.
I
Which
know.
I have feelings about this too. Like, I am such a fan of that. And I also don't want to make myself do something just because it scares the shit out of me. Like, if it sounds really fun and I don't do it just because I'm scared, that's a whole nother story. But if it just sounds fucking terrifying, which honestly, skydiving for me just doesn't do it for me, I'm not going to do it. So I think if you're watching this and you're like, well, I don't want to go skydiving, that's okay. You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't. My friend made me do it, so yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna go skydiving. YouTube will be in North Carolina and stuff.
I'll be in NorCal. I think he
Oh,
meant NorCal. The first half
I
of December to tie up Chicago move loose ends and reconnect with folks, enjoy the French toast. And as it's national, oh my gosh, it's National French Toast Day? Of course, you know that.
see, I wrote that as lyrics. Remember, I said, "What are the lyrics?" And I was like, "Okay, YouTube's coming," and so I was in the music mode myself.
Oh,
That
oh,
so everything else
yeah.
was like just didn't make sense to me at
You're
all.
like, I don't remember that song from you too.
Yeah, I was like, that doesn't make sense. So yeah, so also too, it's almost time. It's over soon. But so Melissa, you are going to be here once every month now, right?
Yes, I'm
Yes.
going to be an occasional guest rather than a weekly host. And I wanted to wait until we were live on the air to tell Ruben this, but it's because he's such a diva and I just can't deal with him every week. I need to
So she
take it
called me.
monthly,
She called me Kelly Ripa,
right?
and yeah, right. No one. Yeah. But anyways, yeah,
No,
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, explain real quick.
it's not because of Ruben. It's
It's not me
personal
because of you.
reasons, just time, time, bandwidth. But I will still be here occasionally, and Ruben, you'll still be here every week if I'm correct.
Yeah, yeah, we'll have rotating co-hosts, and so everybody out there, Serge, everybody, will be part of the whole crew and the whole community too, and keep this going. And especially that we're going into a little bit of a rough ride in this ship of life, this voyage that we're going through together. We will keep going, and we'll keep going on. So yeah, so keep coming. Bring your feelings,
Yeah.
everything else, and yeah,
And I'll
and we'll
probably still pop in as a guest occasionally. It's more just the commitment of for sure being on camera that I won't always be here, but I'll be around to say hi to you guys. And I've so appreciated. I'm not leaving forever, but I just so appreciate everyone, but especially those of you that pop up somewhat frequently and share your feelings and your stories and your jokes and perspectives. It means so much and just really sustains me. So I'm grateful to you guys. And
I
that's why I
told her,
couldn't say goodbye
yeah.
completely.
So I told her she's gonna miss you guys, and she's like,
Yeah.
I need to talk to somebody besides
I
my cat's butt,
know.
and we're gonna
Yeah.
miss the cat's butt. Mom is gonna tell you I'm gonna miss the cat's butt. So, um,
Yeah. They're
yeah,
famous around here. And Ruben, I'm also grateful to you. I should also say that you are so consistent in showing up and being full of love and the warmth that I think you bring in order to try and, the world is crazy. There is a pandemic and the election and racial inequality and all of these horrific things that are always happening. And I think something I really appreciate about you is that you always show up to hold space for other people, including me. And so I'm grateful you're still going to be doing that. And I'm just grateful that you've done that for 8 months now, right? Has it been 8 or 9 months
yeah,
been doing this?
yeah. Well, I also feel like it's time to decompress too, because I can't have the same conversations I've had over and over again about the president, about blah blah blah. It's he lost. He's a loser. He's gonna lose over and over again. But it's almost time.
L7
Yeah, it's almost
wing.
time to let it go. And it's like it's time to really heal. And so I'll be doing a little more uh, different mixed media stuff that I've been working on in the background too. I've been working a lot with different live streams, so I kind of felt like I took a lot of my energy as an artist to do that, and I feel like I'm gonna come back and been working on some video stuff and a little more ethereal poetry stuff, and that's we're gonna go up forward. But I do appreciate you being on here, and it's been it's been a long time. I mean, it's
Yeah.
even though you don't look at it, uh, but I'm sure everybody will miss you too, and what even if we get a picture of the cat butt, it might make us feel better too.
I'll just send it to you. I'll send you Pumpkin's butt so you can show it just for a couple seconds.
So
Thanks
and
for being here, Mike. Love
yeah,
back to you.
it is evolving, and it will. Later on, I'm telling Melissa I am streaming on Twitch, which is another frontier of a more of a different kind of healing. It's a more vibrational healing and less talking, but more visuals. And but I think in that universe is a different kind of universe. So different
Yeah.
styles. So excited about that too, and also this animation streaming that I'm doing too. So let's see.
It's been wonderful getting to know you, Mel. Good to know you will still, I think, be around is probably what he was going to say. Yeah, I definitely will
Yeah.
still be around. Hey, how did I know that? Good.
She's their psychic. But yeah, and I think like seeing everybody come out here and just let their feelings out there, let what they want to say, and this is the spot where let your anxiety just rest for a little bit, and let everybody just forget about even if it's for an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half, just forget about it and really come here. And everybody, I love everybody out there, and that's why I do it for, because I do it with my heart, and I don't need to be famous for this, thing like that. But if you know anybody, a publisher, that'd be great. Just kidding. My book is
Anybody
coming
would
out too. Yeah.
It's called I Want to Be Famous.
It's
by
called
Ruben.
yeah. It's called Cuervo Ripa, and yes. Danny Yu.
Thank you,
Ooh, I
Matt.
like Danny Yu is a new one.
Don't call him out on his typo right now.
No, that's me. No, that kind
Thank
of
you. The
yeah, that
funkiest of. Oh, you're
yeah,
welcome. Thank
yeah.
you, Matt. Thank you for everybody who comes out so frequently and shares their flavor and themselves and their funeral ideas. That's awesome.
Hold on, we have one more. Matt said.
All the best, Melissa. Perhaps future co-host can wear funky chicken caps in your stead. You'll be missed on a weekly Feelings Friday basis, yet we will stay connected. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for foul-tastic. Thanks,
Okay.
guys. Yeah. I'll still be around. It's
Yeah.
not,
And
like,
just look, it'll be announced. There'll be different, like I said, different co-hosts and different, same, same space for everybody, same thing, So, but yeah, and
Maddie the Giant Elf will be at the farmer's market in Midtown. When? Tomorrow? I want to know more
this
about
weekend.
that. I saw something about an indoor snowball fight that you were posting from Maddie the Elf was posting.
Oh, is that me?
And then and then someone was like, "But Maddie, we can't be indoors right now." And like talking about how are we going to do this? Oh, okay, 11:30 to 12:30. My hubby is taking the car. I was about to say I'm going to
Free
come
plug.
see that, but yeah, everyone go see Matt the Giant Elf.
There's free
Oh,
plugs
he's giving away free plugs.
for the front or the back, Matt.
I'm gonna guess just a wild guess here. That is the one Christmas movie I have watched so far this season is Elf because it is amazing. Indoor snowball fight outside. Yes. Chris has said wherever you pop up, we'll make sure to flock to you. I get it. There's Carissa with the
She is
puns.
queen of the puns. She
She
is.
is. She is.
Yeah.
From the beginning. Chris was one that I think in one of our first shows was like, oh, you guys want some puns? That's my specialty. I'm going to give you some. Candy cane flavored plugs. This is devolving.
Yes. No, I'm gonna get some of those. So,
Awesome.
Carissa, Mia is growing so big. So, yes.
Is Mia the dog that's in her picture?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that dog is so cute. Is that your dog, Carissa? Is that
Yeah.
her dog?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna ask about, oh my goodness, such a cute puppy.
Mike, that's yeah. See,
Where's Will Ferrell?
yes.
Will Ferrell will be at the farmer's market dressed as Maddie the Elf tomorrow
Yeah.
from 11:30 to 12:30.
Hold on.
Wait, will you just be roaming, by the way, Matt, or will you have like a booth set up or something? Because then people will be able to find you. But awesome.
Yeah, so everybody remember, stay safe out there. The COVID is spiking, so be careful, extra careful. Yeah, we want you to come back out. Yeah, she's getting bigger. She is getting
Mm.
big. She was like a puppy when I, a little picture of her, and I was like, damn, she's getting so big now.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
Yeah. So everybody stay safe out there, please. Do your social distancing, wash your hands. I wash my hands about 20 times a week, a day now.
Have you
Um,
stopped picking your nose?
I just did. Did you see that?
I mean, like in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've heard people talking about this, like, light of my life. She shits on the carpet, but not on my heart. Ah, that's all any of us want, right? Is just someone who shits on the carpet and not on our heart.
Right.
We
Not.
will be spreading
Yes.
Christmas cheer from a physical distance. I like it.
Yeah. And
All right.
Mike, keep the good work out there because as far as out there selling, getting your mezcal out there too, and helping the people of Oaxaca because that is very, very important right now because they really need help out there. So if you do drink some mezcal, please ask for Neta because that's a wonderful mezcal too, made by the
Mm,
hands of the people, with art of the people and the hearts.
yeah.
So yeah, so I mean that's my favorite drink. But
You're plugging.
yeah, plug-in, yeah. So I know it's just what I yeah. I appreciate people that are helping spread
Spread
cheer, not
cheer,
go.
not COVID. I think that is
Yeah,
our message for tonight. Which
that'll be a shirt.
I feel like most of you all who watch are already pretty conscientious. Just keep doing what you're doing,
Yeah,
keep washing your hands, staying safe. I know a lot of us have COVID fatigue. And also don't let the fear of like the fact that the numbers are so high get to you too much either. Because I think
yeah, yeah,
because you're already being careful, which I'm just assuming all of you guys are, there's no reason to let it like unnecessarily freak it out. Because I'll find
yeah.
myself doing that, and then it's like,
Me
wait,
too.
right? Like I'm still
Yeah,
wearing a mask. I'm not being indoors with people. Like so,
yeah.
yeah,
And I do think the same way too. Like you can do what you can do, be as safe as you can be, and it is out there. So just be careful and yeah, I believe everybody here is the same thing too. So
yeah,
yeah. Well, thank you, Mike.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So it was, yeah, nice to see you. And we'll see you next week.
All right.
I will be streaming on Twitch in a little bit in the var fastest
When you say Twitch,
things
do
of the
you share that to
universe.
Facebook or is it only
No,
on Twitch?
it's
Okay,
only
so
on
people
Twitch.
won't
Yeah,
actually see you there.
yeah. It's a whole different program. So it's a whole different StreamYard. It's a more intense program that I use for this one. Yeah. So, but
Ooh, well, have fun.
I realized I get super hyper after we're done on Fridays, and I'm like, I got to do something. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go at 11 o'clock and just sit there and build my
Yeah.
cosmic web and see if I can get any
Mm.
people out there that are like out there listening. Because like
Anybody you can
Facebook,
stick in it.
yeah, it's a little too experimental for Facebook. People are like, what the fuck are
Mm.
you? Yeah, like what the fuck are you doing out there? Playing music and playing some glitch art stuff. So, but yeah, we'll see. It's fun.
Don't
It's
underestimate people. I think they're down for whatever you want to put out in the universe. That's my guess.
yes. Well,
Just
this is
because
a
you're
different
you.
universe. This is yeah. Twitch is a different
Okay.
universe. Yeah, yeah.
I know. I,
Yeah,
I just mean, I don't know. I think whatever. Yeah. I'm glad if you're taking the energy and channeling it somewhere, that's awesome.
yeah. With all the freakier people out there,
The
because that's what
freaking
it's.
Dicky Dutch.
It is. It is. Yeah. Well, so we'll see you in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we'll do that probably before the one before Christmas, if that's that we
That
can.
sounds good.
Yeah. So everybody, thank you for coming out. And we'll see you next Friday here at Cali Cocktail Hour. We will have a special guest, a special. I think we're gonna have a witch, so that stay tuned for that one. So she's a good witch. She's
Ooh.
a good witch though. Really is. She does really good stuff, and she does some different things, and that's what I'm
Awesome.
thinking. But we'll see. But everybody out there too, we'll have a community, and maybe I'll just pull everybody up on the stream so we can all talk together. So
Awesome.
yeah,
All right, you
and
guys have a good night and have a good weekend.
see you, Mike.
Bye. Thank you. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. That's the first time I see you, but in a couple weeks you can come back and see Melissa again too.
Yeah.
And also thank you for everybody. We love you. If you're here for one thing, to hear that we love you, and thank you for always coming up and showing up. And thank you, Melissa, for for the it's like the thank you for the 8 months. But I mean that it really is an achievement too, right? And we built this community, and I will continue it, and I will honor you with I feel like I have to get a little more creative to make up some of the some stuff that will be missed. I
I
think
feel like you know some pretty cool people,
I do.
but I appreciate you
But
saying that. So
yeah,
thank
I mean,
you.
so it's the energy. It's I know I believe I know a lot of people. I mean, sorry, I know a lot of cool people, but I'm just saying, like, for you in this spaces, I think people have been really emoted to you. So I
Thank
think that's
you.
so it's you got big feathers to fill. I don't know if
Big
that makes
feathers.
sense,
That's right.
or
I'll
big
have to
beak
mail
to
this
fill.
cap to your next guest.
That's right. So, yeah,
Thank
and
you.
love you too, Matt. And
Love you guys.
and I hate to say that we're all in this together, but we are. And we'll get through this. It's it's like being a ship in a storm. It's scary sometimes, and it's gonna rock sometimes, but we will get through this, and we'll get to the other side. So,
Yes.
thank you, and I will talk to you soon, and I will see you next Friday. Any last
All right.
words? Parting words?
Have a fantastic weekend. I will see you guys soon. So I'm not acting like this is a big goodbye. So,
I'm
you
like,
know,
but because
I
remember
know.
I cry at those Sarah McLachlan dog commercials. Melissa, my Melissa will make me change
Oh,
them. Yeah,
in the arms of the angel.
yeah. I do. She's like, yeah. Anyway, so before I
I change
cry
those commercials
and
too. I
before
cannot.
my mascara runs down, I bid
Have a
you a
fantastic
farewell,
night.
and
It's not goodbye. It's see you soon.
thank you, Mike. I will talk to you soon. Bye,
All
Melissa.
right.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Maybe I've seen my dad, and I'm alive to kill the time. What triggers the idea of la da da da? La da da da. La da da da. La da da da. La da da. Well, I've lived this before, and why must we experience it? My curiosity kills cities of cats, and that's that.